If you are sitting there holding out hope that Jason Morgan and Britt Westbourne are finally going to get their happily ever after next week, I am here to tell you to prepare for a brutal, soul-crushing heartbreak. For months, we have all watched and waited, praying that his return to Port Charles would finally heal the wounds of the past. But let me shatter that illusion right now. The door is officially slammed shut on any fairy tale romance between them, and what is actually coming will wreak devastation on everything you thought you knew about these two. If you ask me, the writers have been playing a massive trick on us, dangling this emotional hospital reunion like a shiny object to distract us from a long-buried secret that is about to explode. You might want to brace yourselves, guys, because this isn't a story about star-crossed lovers finding their way back to each other. This is a story of ultimate betrayal, and the jaw-dropping twist that is about to unfold will leave you absolutely speechless. Right now, the landscape of Port Charles is a chaotic, smoldering wreckage of broken alliances and shattered lives. We have all been led to believe that the dust is finally settling. Ross Cullum has met his grim demise on Spoon Island, taking his dirty double-agent secrets to the grave. The terrifying Jen Sidwell has been captured, locked away in a cell where he can no longer terrorize our favorite families. And, of course, the entire town, especially young James West, is actively mourning the tragic supposed death of Cassius Faison, the man who fooled everyone into thinking he was the resurrected Nathan West. With the villains seemingly vanquished, it looked like the perfect time for Jason Morgan to reclaim his life. He made the monumental decision to step away from Sonny Corinthos and the mob, to focus entirely on being a good father to Danny. It felt like a new dawn. We all saw that highly anticipated reunion between Jason and Britt at General Hospital. The tension was thick enough to cut with a scalpel. She slapped him across the face, a fiery display of unresolved anger, and then used that very incident to pull him into a private examination room. On the surface, it looked like the classic soap opera setup for a passionate, tear-filled reconciliation. We were meant to believe that the sparks were still there, that beneath her icy exterior, the Britch was just a vulnerable woman desperate to have her stone cold back. But if you look closely at Jason's piercing blue eyes in that scene, you will see that he was not looking at a long-lost lover. He was looking at a suspect. Instead of focusing on rebuilding their romance, Jason Morgan's deeply ingrained survival instincts have kicked into overdrive. His traumatic captivity at the hands of the WSB changed him on a cellular level. He knows better than anyone that an organization that massive and corrupt does not just vanish because a few rogue agents get taken off the board. Jason has realized that the Sinister Network is still fully operational, silently running under the iron-fisted control of the mysterious new WSB head, Z. Jason is out of the mob, but he is stepping right onto a much deadlier battlefield. He has begun to secretly investigate the remnants of the WSB in Port Charles, and his crosshairs have landed directly on the woman standing right in front of him. But that's not even the craziest part. During his covert investigation, Jason has started to notice deeply suspicious patterns in Britt Westbourne's behavior. If you ask me, she has been playing us all for absolute fools. Jason is tracking her every move, and he has discovered that Britt frequently disappears during crucial, high-stakes moments. She is not just wandering the hospital corridors, she is actively accessing highly classified, restricted medical servers that have absolutely nothing to do with her regular duties as a doctor. Jason has caught wind of her making encrypted communications with unidentified individuals in the dead of night. He is slowly putting the terrifying puzzle pieces together, realizing that Britt never actually cut her ties with the WSB. She is still an active operative, working in the shadows. But that's not even the craziest part. The deeper Jason digs into the digital footprints and altered hospital records, the more he realizes the sheer magnitude of Britt's deception. We all know Britt is a brilliant doctor, but Jason has uncovered that she has been using her vast medical expertise for something incredibly sinister. She has been manipulating autopsy reports, forging blood work, and altering the hospital's central database to cover up a massive WSB operation right under everyone's noses. Jason realizes that she has the power, the clearance, and the intellect to completely fabricate a medical reality, fooling both the authorities and the citizens of Port Charles. He realizes she is acting as the medical fixer for Z. But that's not even the craziest part. The absolute bombshell of the decade, the jaw-dropping twist that Jason is about to uncover is that Cassius Faison is not dead. The horrific attack that supposedly claimed his life was nothing more than a meticulously orchestrated theatrical performance directed and executed by his own sister, Britt Westbourne. Jason discovers that Britt secretly intercepted Cassius, treated his fatal wounds in a hidden, off-site WSB medical facility, and faked his death certificate. She used her position to ensure no one questioned the body or the paperwork. Cassius is alive, breathing, and currently hiding in the shadows, waiting for his next set of deadly orders from Z. Britt did not just save her brother, she weaponized him for the WSB. If you think Jason Morgan is going to just kick down her door and confront her with these accusations, you do not know Stone Cold. Jason is not going to rush this. He is operating with a chilling, methodical precision that we haven't seen in years. He is continuing to play the role of the hesitant, emotionally guarded ex-lover, using their fragile dynamic as a cover to get closer to her secrets. He is silently gathering an insurmountable mountain of evidence. He is tracking the offshore money trails, copying the encrypted files she leaves on her laptop, and silently following her to her clandestine meetings with Cassius and Z's handlers. He is building an ironclad case so devastating that when he finally drops the hammer, Britt will have absolutely no way to deny her treason. The psychological toll this is taking on Jason is profound, and guys, it is going to make for some of the most compelling television we have seen in a long time. This is the woman he once trusted with his life, the woman he went on the run with, the woman who saw past the mob enforcer to the man beneath. To realize that she is a vital cog in the very machine that tortured him and kept him away from his son, Danny, is a betrayal that cuts deeper than any bullet. Jason's love for Danny is his driving force now. He left the mob to protect his boy, and he will be damned if he lets a rogue WSB faction, led by Z and facilitated by Britt, bring danger to his family's doorstep. He is turning his heartbreak into cold, calculated vengeance. As for Britt, what on earth is she thinking? If you ask me, the legacy of Caesar Faisal and Peter August is a poison that she can never truly wash out of her veins. Perhaps she genuinely believes she is protecting Cassius by keeping him hidden, or perhaps Z has leveraged something so monumental against her that she feels she has no choice. But the Britch has always had a taste for power and danger, and playing a high-stakes game of espionage right under the nose of the PCPD and Jason Morgan might be a thrill she cannot resist. She thinks she is outsmarting everyone, completely unaware that the man she is trying to pull back into her bed is the very man who is weaving the net that will destroy her. This is all leading to a climax that will wreak devastation on the General Hospital campus. When Jason finally has every piece of the puzzle, he is not going to pull her aside for a quiet, tearful breakup. I predict he is going to expose her long-buried secret publicly, ripping the mask off her face in front of the entire hospital board, her mother Liesel, and the authorities. He will lay out the fake death certificates, the encrypted communications, and the undeniable proof that Cassius Faison is alive. It will be a public execution of her character, a jaw-dropping twist that will leave Port Charles reeling. Jason will become the architect of her ultimate downfall, using the very evidence he gathered while pretending to care for her. This isn't just the end of a romance, it is the brutal opening battle of a massive new war. By taking down Britt, Jason is sending a direct, undeniable message to Z. He is declaring that Port Charles is no longer a playground for the WSB's rogue factions. The destruction of one of the fans' most beloved pairings is the collateral damage necessary to set up this epic showdown. Jason Morgan versus the mysterious, powerful Z is the real story here. Britt was just the gatekeeper, and Jason's about to kick the gates wide open. And that brings us to the ultimate cliffhanger, guys. Picture this. It is pouring rain in Port Charles. Jason is standing in the pitch-black shadows of an abandoned dockside warehouse. He watches intensely as Britt, looking paranoid and desperate, slips through a rusted side door. A moment later, a tall, imposing figure steps out of the gloom to meet her. The camera pans up, and we see the face of a man the entire town believes is buried 6 feet under, Cassius Faison, standing side by side with a representative of Z. Jason's eyes narrow to icy slits. He doesn't reach out to Britt. Instead, he slowly reaches into his leather jacket, his hand wrapping tightly around the cold steel of his weapon, ready to pull the trigger on the woman he once loved.